Hello viewers, and welcome to part 2 of our MXGP coverage. Again, you'll see some clips from some upcoming race videos which you're going to be seeing. We're going to be looking at all the different tracks, different bikes. We're going to be looking at tutorial. This next video and the next one to come will be a pre-tutorial. So again, just myself with my first hands-on exploring the game before looking at improving technique and everything else. So we can see some of the different varied viewpoints, lighting effects. It's really nice to see what they've managed to do here on this engine, especially with the deformable ground. I mean, that's not something we've spoken about a great deal. We will do when we get more into the racing, but it's nice to see that. But first we see joint brakes on and off at the bottom here for different models. We see the base, medium and pro handling models as well. Anyone who's played MotoGP will know there's a difference between them. A bit more refined this time. And you'll see this is just a practice session where I've done time trials of three bikes on the same circuit, just seeing how I can explore with each one. So starting with the base across on the left hand side there, it's quite a stable system that you have there. Of course you have joint brakes as well. It's nice for just riding, getting into the game, learning your lines. Then we have the medium, where you're using a little bit more throttle control. Low throttle in the corners really gets you out nice. If you really go for it in the corners, you'll find you lose a lot of traction that way. You're not as quick, so just getting those lines right. And then of course we have the Pro across to the right there. Now that's much more advanced. You're going to be needing to use, you'll see a bit more jinking of the body weight and stuff like that. And occasionally I turn in, and there you go, just overdid it on the body weight there. So that was just body weight that just threw me off the bike. So you can see controlling your rider weight, the extra challenges, whoops-a-daisy, the extra challenges that brings to that Pro model. So you need to do lots and lots of laps before learning your tricks and how to integrate it all and get your bike down from landing as well from some of the higher jumps. And besides different sort of braking techniques into the corners, so you really get into the apex, but at the same time you get good drive on the exit of the corner as well. Now you can see the base and medium at this point in the time trial are pretty much identical. Obviously these aren't high speed laps. This is just a practice session where you can throw the bike about a bit, try some different techniques and get a feel for it as well. And another good option, see the graphics as well, which are really nice. The draw distance is really good, lots of detail there in terms of the crowd. I mean, the medium there, you can see it stretching right up the hill. No problems there in terms of rendering the environments. And remembering, this is a current gen title. This is not a next gen title in terms of PS4 and Xbox One. This is a 360 and PS3 game. Obviously there won't be the same frame rate on there, and no doubt there's slightly improved lighting on here, but it gives you a nice technique. Fun factor, the important part here, is loads of fun. Actually, I really am enjoying this riding round. There's a really nice feeling to the bike in the dirt, squirming around. You really do feel that it's part of the environment. It's not some artificial thing that's sort of hovering. Nice lighting, nice look and feel. It's got that, it's got that blue sky environment to it, which is nice, as I say, which is nice colours and bright look and feel. And of course, your front and rear brakes, getting used to how to use those is critical, especially the rear braking some of these corners. Gets the bike out, but combining with the body weight, there's a lot of speed to be found. But I can tell you that the rider weight is something that's quite advanced in terms of, it's okay leaning forward and leaning back. Obviously, if you want to pull away quickly at the start, you've got to lean your body weight forward. Otherwise the bike's just going to fall back on you. But when you get more advanced, you can find, and I think medium, I was doing it there, then around the corner, you're leaning into the corners and you're getting more speed. So it's really just a case of practice. But I want to show you that because it shows the dynamics of the rider and how that, sometimes it might look a little bit stiff in a few videos, but that's partially down to the riding style as well. I'm just trying to keep things simple. Remember, this is my first day of playing it, so it will take a few days of play to improve. Looking at a race now. This is one of the German circuits, and I've gone for a multicam this time. Now we're not using the bottom left helmet cam. Is not the one that's actually in the game. That's the replay cam, and thankfully as well, because the the handlebar cam is fantastic in this. It's much better than that in terms of stability. But it's nice to have it there, show again a bit more manoeuvrability in the environment, just how natural the game looks and feels as well. So I'm pulling away. Again, I don't know these circuits very well, so you know, bearing in mind this isn't a series I've known very much about before playing the game, so it's a case of learning these circuits and how best to approach them. As many of you will know, I tend to follow the track biking and track racing. And I was mentioning in the last video actually about motocross games in general haven't excited me. I mean, obviously someone mentioned the MX vs ATV. I didn't say anything necessarily specifically about that title, but there are a whole bunch of titles that you feel that sometimes biking games don't get the same level of investment as their car game counterparts. And that's a shame. It's nice to see that Milestone are investing in this technology and these titles and looking to build on that every time, and we're seeing great steps forward again from them here. Pretty much since WRC3 we've seen regular improvements in development. You can see the replay cam in the bottom corner. It's nice to see as well. Some really good replay angles in the game. Nice long angles. Just nice to appreciate. You can see here, you know, in comparison to the time attack a moment ago, you see there's a lot more sort of ground deformation. It really does depend on the circuit though. Some of them have much harder surface texture than others. Some are very soft. I think it's the Netherlands. They have a very hard sort of dirt, if you like, whereas in some places you get this sort of grooved mud we saw in the Swedish circuit. I don't know all the circuit names yet, forgive me for that one, it's something I've still got to learn. But we will be looking at one lap of every single circuit in the game, as well as a whole bunch of the riders on our next video, so look forward to that. And again, we've seen noted the Finnish circuit. We'll be putting together a race on that as well. So having a good look at the game and of course looking at the tutorials, really getting our head around perfecting now we've had some practice perfecting the riding styles. Whoa! Don't do that at home, kids. I knew it was a slow corner. I was just trying to throw the bike in at a different angle and it didn't just quite work for me. There are some very, very slow sections on this circuit that will take time to master. You can see when you squirt on the power there, it sort of squirms around. So you're not fully on the power, you're kind of about 50%, 20%, 50%, and then you really open it up. And as the ground becomes more chopped up, bike starts moving about a bit more. But either way, I mean, this is a great example of the genre, and it's been a lot of fun so far. It certainly exceeded expectations. Martin will be reviewing it on the website. No doubt his review will be up in the coming days. Certainly one for the fans of the genre. I've got quite a big lead here. I'm quite pleased about that. This is on the hard setting, but not the realistic setting. The difficulty varies on one track to another, but I have found on the realistic setting it's much more difficult. So I wouldn't have a lead. It'd be because I've fallen off. If you fall off, you're never going to win a race on the realistic setting. So don't be fooled into thinking the game is easy. It's not. It is quite challenging. It does take a bit of getting used to. Even just staying on your bike for the first few races is a challenge. Once you stay on your bike, then you can start getting into a little bit more advanced sort of. Trying to go too fast here again. Yeah, I didn't get in early enough to that apex. He sort of understeered at the top there. But we're on the front. Oh, back end coming out. Managed to keep control. Wheelie. Come around these final few corners. And so that's another quick video on MXGP. Looking at the handling, looking at a race. We're going to have much more analysis to come in the coming days, including a look at a lot more of the package and what it has to offer. But that's it from me for now. We're going to go around these final couple of corners. A quick wave to the crowd, And as ever, there'll be more from me very soon.